Hi everybody, it is a nice hot day out here in my backyard, so I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the things that I'm keeping on my deck and my fruit trees which are around the deck. So let's look around. The first thing I'm going to show you today is my jungle cactus. These buds are getting huge. I expect some of these flowers at least to bloom any day now. Look at these guys. I think they're going to be pink. I don't know for sure. They appear to be on the same plant that bloomed last year, which this produced a beautiful pink flower last year. Now, I've got a gorgeous basket or bowl of sedum here. This is donkey tail sedum, I think. If not, it's burro's tail, and this one's donkey tail. There's two different varieties in here, but I have a lot less of this longer variety than I do of this little short variety. I actually like this one better myself. In here I have some cilantro, which I chopped back today. It was about to go to bolt. I've got some lemon thyme. I got this one because it was variegated. I won't lie, I just thought it was pretty. And this one's called Angelo thyme. And this little grassy thing that looks like it could be dill is not dill. This is cumin. I actually planted some of the cumin seeds right out of my pantry just to see what would happen, and that's what happened. I got baby cumin. So as we look down below the herb window box, I've got some of the succulents that I had brought outside for the year. I've got my desert rose plants. These guys are pretty old, really, surprisingly enough. All of them are the same age, and I grew them from seed. I don't see any signs that they're going to flower anytime soon, and that's okay, I guess. Someday I will have desert rose flowers. And more cool succulents down here. As I work my way down the steps, I've got another jungle cactus down here. This one hasn't budded or blossomed. It's actually, like, as you can tell, more than one plant, and they're all mixed up, so I have no idea even what varieties they are. This one's a kalanchoe. It's a fuzzy tree. It's kind of cool looking. I really liked it. And then we have this pot of succulents, which I've had for quite a while. It did really well last year in this exact spot. Now, some good news. My lemon tree is leafing out like crazy. It hadn't had any leaves all winter, and then it popped out a couple down here, and now it is leafing everywhere, and I have some flower buds on there, so there's a chance that I could actually get lemons. Now, this mandarin still looks the same as it has for a while. This is my Owari Satsuba, and beautiful green leaves, not very many of them, and no branches. So I'm still waiting for him to decide that he wants to branch out and turn into a lush green tree. But as long as he's alive, he's doing great. But the best news is this tree right here. This one is what do we call this one? This one is a Shiranui mandarin, and this one it's just beautiful. And not to mention that, but its first flush of flowers allowed it to set fruit. So you can see little baby mandarins in here. I think that's the biggest one right there. And hey, I will be excited to get mandarins after a while. And finally, my Persian lime. It's a beautiful lime tree. I've had this one for the same amount of time as I've had the lemon on the other end. It's a beautiful tree, and the best news about this one is that these limes are ready. Soft to the touch, a blush of yellow, smoothed out. The skin color is smoothed out. It's not as pitted. This is what I looked up online, and it said that they should be to harvest. So I am going to harvest my limes today or tomorrow. I am super excited about that. I have plans for them already. It's super hot out and I want to make a drink called lemon mint, which is made with lemons and limes, and I had it in Egypt and it was absolutely delicious and refreshing, and that is what I plan to do with my first limes off of my lime tree. Now as we go back the other way, this is my pot of ginger, and as you can see, it's not doing anything. So hopefully eventually I get ginger. And this is the avocado tree that I recently purchased. Still green, still healthy. It looks great, and it seems to be enjoying its spot out here. For some reason, my GoPro shut itself off, but now we're back. Like I said, this is my mandarin tree. I think it overheated is what happened. Down here I have, man, what is these things called? You know those big giant lilies that they sell around Christmas time? The name slips my mind, but I've had this thing here for a while. I'm just gonna let it sit here in this pot and build up strength and energy this summer. It might bloom in the summer if it's out here growing. We'll see what happens. And in this pot I planted turmeric, and I don't know what this is. It's coming up. It might be grass, to be honest. I have no idea if the turmeric is going to grow or not. We will find out. I always like an experiment. Coming up along here, I have a poinsettia that I had in the house 2 years ago, and I've just kept it alive. I haven't been able to make it turn red again, but I didn't try hard enough. But it's going to live out here this summer. I have some opuntia, some other cactuses, some succulents that are beautiful, a jade plant, ogre ears, a beautiful succulent garden that I put together a year or so ago. It's stunning. Now here, these two pots, this pot is plumeria cuttings that I just potted yesterday. They'd been sitting there rooting, and I thought I saw signs that they might have formed roots. If you notice, what they do have is leaves coming out on them. And I thought the best thing I could do is actually put them in some soil out here, make sure they've been watered, and let them grow in place. This one is a cutting from the same tree, and it isn't doing anything yet, and it may never do anything. When you have a cutting from the midpoint of a tree, good luck. Who knows? This is my banana plant. We'll see what happens. It's in here. I hear that bananas grow really fast, so I hope that this pot is big enough to maintain that all year. As we look up, you can see my clematis that grows up the side of my deck right here. It's absolutely stunning. It looks even better from the other side, but that's a view for a garden tour instead of a deck tour. I've got a potted up succulent up here. This one, I'm trying to remember the name of the flower. It has a cool little red flower, and this is a plant that's related to Stapelia or Orbia. I forget exactly which one this is. Down here we have some herbs that I'm growing. This entire pot here is basil, different varieties. I've got your standard Italian type basil, I've got Thai basil, and I've got the purple basil. In this pot I have two types of oregano. One is Italian oregano, and the other one is called hot and spicy oregano. I'm a sucker for anything that's called hot and spicy, so there it went. And I stuck another basil in the side of that pot. This is a poinsettia that I had gotten this year. As you can see, it still has its color from the year, but it's starting to outgrow it. And I'm just gonna keep it in the pot this year. This is a cat. He walks around being a pain in the butt. This is one of my aloe plants. Another aloe plant. And a third aloe plant. Oh, and not to be outdone, I have a fourth aloe and a fifth aloe out here on the deck. Now, as we're looking around, these cactuses back here are my Trichocereus cactuses. Some of these are really cool, fancy hybrids. The best thing about these right now is that if you look really carefully, this one over here has a bud. This is going to be a white Trichocereus. It's a plain Trichocereus grandiflorus. There's nothing super excited about it. However, there is a flower bud forming on this one right here, and this one is called Betty Boop, and it should be super pretty and big. This one here is Flying Saucer, and if anybody's ever heard of the Flying Saucer, it is stunningly huge. This one here is called Arizona Sunset, and this one actually has a pup down at the base, which is exciting. The pup was there all winter. We'll see how it does and how big it grows this year. I've got Volcanic Sunset. No signs of any flower buds yet, but you never know. It's still early for Delaware weather. It's been hot this past couple days, but really it only just got hot. And this one's called Dutchman's Orange. I can't wait to see these bloom. So I have yet another aloe. This is a tiny aloe. I think it's called Black Gem or something like that. This one is called Parodia rubeolata or something like that. But as you can see, flower buds, yay! This is my Echinocereus domino. It's called a domino cactus. And if it blooms for me, it'll have white flowers. The cactus in the back is a little bit rough, the bigger one, and these up here are pups that I've taken off of that over time. I think that these guys, the smaller ones that are pink in color, may be suffering from a little too much sunshine. I don't know how well you can see it, but right down here in there is flower buds on this cactus. I've actually forgotten the name of this one. I want to say it's a Rabutia, but I don't know the variety. This right here happens to be one of my favorites, only because I grew this from a seed. This is a agave, but I don't remember exactly what variety of agave it is, and it's a couple of years old, believe it or not, even though it's so small. Up here is a mammillaria, and this is the first time that this particular mammillaria is bloomed for me. It looks spectacular. I'm pretty pleased with that. Here we have 4 other different kinds of Echinopsis subdenduata domino cactuses, but they're different varieties. None of them have bloomed for me yet. This is Rainbow Burst. This one says it is Oxygona XX, which means I think it's an Easter lily cactus. And this one just says it's a hybrid. Who knows exactly how they'll turn out. I think they get a little too much sun here, to be honest. As red as they are. I might need to move these to a shadier spot, as well as this one. This one is about to bloom. However, it has 2 beautiful buds on it, but as you can tell by the red color, it's getting too much sun, and so I need to find a shadier spot for all my Echinopsis, I believe. And once again, I have another aloe, and I don't remember the name of it. So I've got this cactus here, another whose name I do not know. I really need to work on that. And I have this plant here. This is Persian carpet flower, Edicolia grandiflorus. I got this last year. I've never had it bloom for me, but the flowers of it, if you look it up, are beautiful, which is why I bought it. I did separate this front piece here from the rest of it this past year to balance out the container, but I do not think that this is rooted yet. It's just still hanging out. Now over here to my table, as you can see, it's just a variety of cacti. Some of them bigger than others. All very cool. I do have a Haworthia right here, which is about to bloom. There's a bloom stalk for that. It blooms a lot. It's a pretty regular bloomer for me. And I have brought outside my pineapple that I just potted up the other day. So we'll see how that does. Here I have another aloe. This one I just got recently as a cutting, and it's doing kind of sadly. It probably needs a little bit of shade, to be honest. And these are babies from a cactus that I got a few years ago, the cactus itself died. I think this is also a Rubusha type. Last year, one of these tiny babies, and compare, like they're very small, one of these babies actually flowered last year. I missed it. The only proof I have is that I saw the flower bud after it had already closed up again. But I was very surprised that that happened. Some of you might have seen me pot up this arrangement the other day if you watch any of my videos. And here's a couple seedlings that you didn't see the other day. They had already been potted. I moved outside the seedlings from the other day. So this tray, and this tray are my cactus seedlings that I potted up the other day out here in the heat, which should be good for them. Up here is my monkey tail cactus growing away. Someday I might get flowers on it. And, you know, just some more plants. Got an aloe vera back there. It's not happy, but it's alive. And some more here. And some more here. And another variety of aloe down there. Anyway, as you can see, that is what I keep on my deck all summer long. There are a couple temporary things here. There's a tray of zinnias and sunflowers and a tray that has some other seedlings, and all of those seedlings will eventually make it out to the meadow, I hope. Maybe next week when it's not going to be 95 degrees, I'll plant those out in the afternoon after work. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Bye.